Welcome, my friends, to a new episode of TOEFL ITB Insider. In today's episode, we'll be talking about reduced adjective clauses. First, let me remind you of what an adjective clause is. Look at this example on the screen, my friends. The lady who is sitting next to me in the picture is my mum. Now, the adjective clause is the highlighted part. Who is sitting next to me in the picture? And the reason why we call it an adjective clause is because it simply describes the noun lady. But it's not essential to the structure of the sentence. For we can say, the lady is my mum. So it's gone. Now let's talk about the word reduced. How can an adjective clause be reduced? That is a good question. And my friends, this can happen by simply removing the adjective clause connector and verb to be that directly follows it. Look at the very same example on the screen. The lady who is sitting next to me in the picture is my mum. Now, in order to reduce the adjective clause in this sentence, all what you need to do is to remove the adjective clause connector and verb to be that follows it. So it becomes the lady sitting next to me in the picture is my mom. Now, let's try and reduce another one. Look at this other sentence on the screen. The book, which was published last year, won a prize. And the adjective clause is the highlighted part, which was published last year. Now let's reduce it by removing the adjective clause connector, which, and the verb to be form was, and it becomes the book published last year won a prize. Now, one more example. Look at this. The glass that is on the desk is full of water. And to reduce the adjective clause, we remove that and is and Bob's your uncle. The glass on the table is full of water. But here comes a good question. In all the three previous examples, the verb in the adjective clause was verb to be. But what if we do not have verb to be? What would we do? And the answer is just drop the adjective clause connector and turn the verb that follows it into an ing verb. So let's look at this sentence, for example. I didn't understand the comment that appeared at the end of my feedback sheet. Now, to reduce it, we will remove the connector, that, and turn the verb appeared into an ing ending verb. So it becomes, I did not understand the comment appearing at the end of my feedback sheet. Now, someone might say, so Shadi, all adjective clauses can be reduced in it. And I would say, no. Only adjective clauses that are followed directly by a verb. In other words, only adjective clauses with connectors working as subjects at the same time. Let me clarify more here. Let's compare between these two sentences and their adjective clauses. The man that visits me weekly is my dad. The man that I visit weekly is my dad. Now, when we look at the first sentence, we notice that in the adjective clause, the verb visits follow the connector that directly, which makes that a connector and a subject of the adjective clause at the same time. This makes us able to reduce it. So we can say, the man visiting me weekly is my dad. Fine. But this is not the same scenario with the second example. Because when we look at the adjective clause, that I visit weekly, we notice that there is a word between the connector and the verb, and this word is the pronoun I. This makes that in the clause only a connector. In other words, the adjective clause cannot be reduced. Lovely. Now, another important point. Sometimes adjective clauses are set off the rest of the sentence with commas, as in the following example. British Training Centre, comma, which is located in Heliopolis, comma, offers face-to-face teacher training programs. Now look at the highlighted adjective clause. It's set off the rest of the sentence with a couple of commas. This makes us able not only to reduce it, but also to start the sentence with the reduced clause. So we can say, British Training Centre, located in Heliopolis, offers face-to-face teacher training programs. And we can also say, located in Heliopolis, British Training Centre offers face-to-face teacher training programs. Another example. Shadi, who is now preparing this video, is sitting at his desk. We can reduce the adjective clause and also start with it. So we can say, Shadi, now preparing this video, is sitting at his desk. Or, now preparing this video, Shadi is sitting at his desk. Now let's see how multiple choice questions on reduced adjective clauses may look like. Let's read this question together. On CBS this morning, Ed Rendell said he's still worried about the base turning out to the degree they did for Obama in 2008. And we have four choices. He appeared, who appeared, appearing, and appears. Now, to answer this question, we need to analyze the sentence first. So when we look at the part after the comma, we see that we have a complete sentence because we have Ed Rendell as a subject and we have said as a verb. Lovely. Now, the first part is followed by a comma, and it's obviously describing Ed Rendell. So it's easy to know that this is a reduced adjective clause starting the sentence. Now, we know that when we have a verb other than verb to be in a reduced adjective clause, it has to be in the ing form. So the only choice will be C. So we can read the whole sentence as this. Appearing on CBS this morning, Ed Rendell said he's still worried about the base turning out to the degree they did for Obama in 2008. Now let's see some more questions focusing on the structure of reduced adjective clauses. And the question says, read the following sentence that contains an adjective clause in a complete or reduced form. Underline the adjective clause, then indicate if the sentence is correct or incorrect. Fair enough. So, let's read the first one. Any games purchased and not played will be refunded to the credit card within 4 weeks after the MLB postseason concludes. Now, the first step to decide whether this sentence is correct or not is to check for the subject and verb. And we can say that any games is the subject, but we cannot say that purchased is the verb of any games, because games do not purchase anything. So the verb is will be refunded. Now the adjective clause is purchased and not played, and obviously it's a reduced one, as the original sentence might have read as follows. Any games that are purchased and not played will be refunded to the credit card within 4 weeks after the MLB postseason concludes. So this sentence is correct. Let's look at another sentence. He described Ms. Rankin as an independent and tough woman, drove a 1930s Ford Model A. Now let's analyze this sentence by looking first at the subject and verb. And we have he as a subject and described as a verb. But wait, there is another verb which is drove, and that verb is not preceded by a connector. So how come having two verbs in one sentence without a connector? This is wrong. And this error is due to reducing the adjective clause in a wrong way, because we learned that when we have an adjective clause with a verb other than verb to be, we drop the connector and turn that verb into an ing form. But it seems that this didn't happen here. And a correct version of this should be as follows. He described Ms. Rankin as an independent and tough woman driving a 1930s Ford Model A. Another sentence. In the surveys were taken 7 months apart. People reported how frequently they talked about climate change with family and friends. So as usual, let's try to locate the subject of the sentence. Someone might say, is it the surveys? And I will say, hell no, the surveys is preceded by a preposition. So it can only be an object of a preposition, not a subject. So when we move our eyes, we noticed people reported. And these two are obviously subject and verb. What about the verb were taken that follows the surveys? How come it follows the surveys when the surveys is not a subject? And the answer is because this sentence is wrong. Obviously, were taken months apart is supposed to be a reduced adjective clause, but it was wrongly reduced because when we have verb to be, which is were, in a sentence, we should drop two things from the adjective clause, the connector plus verb to be. And it seems that only the connector was dropped. So a correct version of this sentence would be as follows. In the surveys taken 7 months apart, people reported how frequently they talked about climate change with family and friends. So, ladies and gentlemen, we came to the end of today's episode of TOEFL I2B Insider. Don't forget to like this video, leave a comment, and share with as many people as you can. Thanks for watching. This was Shadi Abu Yusuf from British Heat Training Center. Bye-bye.